Are you treating your music career like it's an actual job, or are you just treating it like it's a hobby and hope that one day it becomes a job? What's going on? It's Pim Fried Rice, and welcome to the Music into Millions podcast. Today I actually got some better lighting, so I'm not walking from dark to light all day. So that's one thing that's going to make this better. Now you guys got to deal with my ugly face. But what I was saying is, today we're going to be talking about how we can turn it from a hobby into our job by thinking about it like it's an actual job. So if you haven't already, make sure you like this video. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. If you're listening anywhere that podcasts are, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because we're trying to help as many artists as we can reach their full potential without needing a record label. So basically, all I wanted to talk about is the fact that you actually need to set creative schedules, because it's literally like a job when you want to make it a job. So when you go to work, you have a schedule that you get every week or bi-weekly or monthly, and your boss says, I need you to show up at this time, you need to work from this hour all the way to this hour, and then go home. And that's pretty much the way you look at it. With your music, you need to have a consistent set schedule. Like, don't just be like, oh, okay, well, I feel like creating today, so I'm going to put some, I'm going to do this or make this, write this, do this, whatever. It doesn't matter. And then, you don't do something again for another 3 or 4 days. That's not how you want to be going about this. You actually want to make this as consistent as possible. I actually started setting up a schedule for myself. I'm a little neurotic, so you don't have to go to the length that I go. But, I physically write out, my day from when I wake up in the morning at 5 all the way until pretty much I would say the end of my day, which is 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, depending. And I literally mark down within minutes, okay, I know from 7 to 7:30 I'm going to be networking with artists. I know from 7:30 to 8 I'm going to be posting all the beats I need for this week, etc., etc. You need to treat this like a job, because it's going to help you start to get some stability and consistency with your music. And that's one of the biggest, most important factors, and I talk about that all the time, so you should already know, is consistency. And when you have a set schedule, it makes it so much easier, because believe it or not, I've talked about this before, but your creative muscle is actually a muscle. So if you get to the point to where every single day you exercise that muscle at 10 o'clock till 1 o'clock or whatever time you set, your muscle, your brain, your creative muscle literally starts to realize, okay, this is when we work, this is when we do our thing, and it gets into the habit, and it actually gets accustomed to doing that. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. It gets accustomed to doing that, and now it becomes easier to create. You don't run into the creative blocks as much, and you get more done, because okay, from this time to this time I have to do X, Y, Z, and then as you begin to do it more often, you realize how much time everything takes, and then you can kind of allocate your time better. But you need to think of your music as a job, otherwise it never will be a job. And a really great example of this is actually Eminem. And I heard a story about this from Akon. He was on a radio station. He was telling the story about one time he went to the studio to work with M, and he got there, I think at 6 p.m. or something like that. And he got there, he's like, yo, what's up, where's Eminem? I'm trying to work on this track. And they're like, oh, M went home. And he's like, all right, that's cool. Is he going to be back in I don't know, an hour or two or something? They're like, no, he's going to be back at 9 o'clock tomorrow. He comes in every day at 9, and he leaves every day at 5. It doesn't matter if he's done a verse. If he's halfway through a verse, he'll literally stop, be like, all right, cool, we'll cut the rest of this tomorrow, and just puts it down. It doesn't matter if he's mixing something, if he's writing a song, he just stops, puts everything down, because he essentially clocks out. He's so neurotic to the point to where he actually he makes a lunch schedule for himself. He takes an hour lunch, and he follows this stuff adamantly. And that's one thing that is super, super important for you, because like I said, once you get that stability in your creation, it becomes so much easier to just tap into it whenever you want to. You can be like, oh, okay, I need to be creative, turn that muscle on. I need to be not creative, turn that muscle off. You know what I mean? So that's what you want to do. You want to set a schedule, treat it like a job, so that one day it becomes a job. Other than that, have a great rest of your day. Don't stop grinding, stay consistent, and yeah, have a good one.
Nice.